I look at camp as that 1 week a year where they can build up 51 other weeks of confidence.
They have diabetes, they need to learn to take care of it, but they can do anything in the world they want.
So anytime you can take a group of kids someplace where they can have a week of fun and also learn something about life, about compassion, about respect, about dignity, it's a win-win. Most of these kids come from the inner city, so they don't have an opportunity to experience something like Camp Duncan.
Sometimes our kids can be very challenging, even for their staff, even for our staff. And they have been incredibly patient, allowing us to work with our campers to try and make sure they have a successful week.
Our campers are coming to camp like everybody else comes to camp. They want to do all of the activities. They want to go on the blob. They want to do the high ropes. They want to be able to play soccer, and they want to be able to swim in the pool. But they have to take care of their diabetes when they're in camp.
These kids are faced with going to dialysis 3 times a week or else dialyzing at home. So to be able to take their mind off of the fact that they have kidney disease, I think is a great opportunity for them.
Tourette syndrome is a neurobiological disorder that causes individuals to make involuntary noises and movements. What these children go through is unbelievable. The stories that I hear about being ostracized, not only from fellow classmates, but the school officials. Sometimes school officials don't always understand. And the difficulties they have in dealing not only with their peers, but also with teachers, the authority figures, the ones that are supposed to be teaching them.
YMCA Camp Duncan has really stepped up to meet our needs. They want us to be there, they want to work with us, they want to learn about what we need, and they've done that through the years with us.
This camp has been a partnership, and we would not have been able to do it without Camp Duncan. I don't think we'd be able to have done it at all. The opportunities that we have here have been amazing, and I don't think that we'd be where we're at right now if it was not for Camp Duncan.
The people that we've been able to work with, I think in the first place are very caring people. They're intelligent and they're professional and they treat us with respect, and it goes a long way in terms of building that partnership and being able to build that relationship and work with them well.
I didn't want just to be a group of kids with kidney disease at a camp. I wanted the kids with kidney disease to be at a camp with regular kids who weren't ill, so that they could see what it's like to be involved in a situation like that for 1 week.
I called a bunch of camps to see what might be interest or possibility. The only camp that returned my call was YMCA Camp Duncan. And about 6 weeks later, we had a contract to do our first Tourette camp. That was about 19 years ago. We have some kids that come in with some very loud vocal tics, sometimes inappropriate tics, profanity, and the patients are just ignoring it and letting the kid be himself and have a good time.
I can't think of a better place to bring a group of kids than to Camp Duncan.
There is diabetes education in camp. That is a part of what we do. Some of these kids have a hard time managing diabetes, and there may or may not be much support at home. For a lot of these kids who come to camp, it's the first time they've met another child or teen who has diabetes. They come to camp and they meet these other kids and they see that they're not alone.
When they first come to camp, most of them are very quiet. They're very reserved. I mean, you know, they're intimidated by the environment because it's not something that they're used to. Many of them have never been swimming in their life, if you can imagine something like that. And so just to, you know, acquaint them with a swimming pool or boating in a lake or doing something with arts and crafts or, you know, going to a dance is a new experience for them.
Probably the biggest thing I hear is the kids come back, they're talking about camp, they can't wait to go back to next year, and that confidence then starts into the school year, or they start blossoming into teenagers.
For parents who have children with diabetes, having their child come to camp is huge. Some of these parents have not had a break from their child with diabetes since they were diagnosed. That can be 2 years, it can be 3 years. Getting a babysitter is not an easy thing for a parent who has a child with diabetes.
We had one parent, as soon as they dropped off their child, was off to Florida for a week this summer. Or we've seen that others, they get a vacation, they get to spend some time with their family or their other children, maybe other children that don't think they're getting attention because the child and the family that has Tourette's is always seeming to getting it. But yeah, it is a respite for the parents. It gives them a chance to recharge. Also sometimes meet other parents with Tourette's, especially at camp. They make some networking, you know, at the end of session or the beginning of session.
We have kids who are taking care of themselves better and becoming good members of their communities, and I see that. I've had some part of that or some role in that.
First year I worked at YMCA Camp, the motto was YMCA Camp, it lasts a lifetime, and it has for me. Here I am almost 20 years later.
Honesty, integrity, sincerity, compassion. That's what I see when I take my kids there. And they're expected to take those values and incorporate them into their own lives.